welcome to India Ideas, the weekly show which is all about science and tech, innovation and entrepreneurship. I'm Gautam Roy. India's startup ecosystem is growing as it evolves and matures, and one of its sectors which has seen a lot of growth along with some policy challenges and consolidation is the gaming sector. Despite these challenges, projections remain quite rosy about it, which is what we're showcasing today. So India has over 1,400 gaming companies, including 500 gaming studios. Most of them are startups. It's also got the second largest user base in the world, with the number standing at 442 million in 2023. There are 600,000 esports players and over 100,000 esports teams. A recent report indicated that the most remarkable aspect about India's gaming ecosystem is that it is the fastest growing mobile gaming market in the world. In 2023, while the India gaming market was estimated to be $3.1 billion, it's expected to be doubling itself to $6 billion by 2028. Now, what do the gaming platforms themselves think about these projections? We're finding that out today with Namrata Swamy, COO, MPL, which is one of India's leading mobile esports and digital gaming platforms. It has 60 plus games and 20 million registered users worldwide. We're also joined by Kirti Singh, co-founder HitWicket, which started with a vision to give the most immersive experience as far as gaming is concerned, and to all cricket fans specifically. It has over 5 million users across India, UK, Australia, South Africa, Pakistan and more than 109 other countries as well. Let me now start with you, Namrata. Now, to what extent do you feel that these estimates that we have, such as the one given by the India Gaming Report 2024, to what extent do you think they are correct? Are they on the dot, or do you feel that they could be over or underestimation as well?
So I think in terms of these numbers, right, like you rightly pointed out, the kind of user base that we have of about 400 million users, I think that's where the strength lies in. The kind of high-speed data connectivity, affordable smartphones, rising incomes, and I think with all of this, when you tie in the kind of innovation that's coming in terms of the kind of games that are launched, the different formats that are coming up with all of these startup studios working together, I believe the numbers are probably a little bit of an underestimate. Gaming as an industry has continuously grown by about 25-30% if you look at the last few years. And while yes, there have been some bumps due to taxation changes on GST, etc., we are very optimistic and really believe some of the growth will really continue to bounce back. And I think we're looking to more than double or triple in terms of the industry size over the next 3 to 4 years.
All right, Kirti, HitWicket caters to the most popular game in India and its fans. The focus of you and your team has been to make it as immersive as possible using different technological tools. Now, how have you gone about it?
Yeah, so I mean, cricket is the second largest sport in the world. I mean, we associate cricket with India, but there's a big population and fans out there outside the world as well who are actually very passionate about cricket. And when you're building a game, I think technology is becoming more and more easy. Like there are a lot of development tools by which you can build a game. But I think the key to cracking a very immersive mobile game is in the game design, which is what we have been relentlessly focusing on. If you remember your childhood games, Super Mario or, Pac-Man, these are all games which were not the cutting edge tech, but it was the fun part that made them so memorable. And, it got millions of people all around the world actually playing them. And I think that is the key element that we at HitWicket are aiming for, that, how do we make a game which can engage a 60-year-old to a 10-year-old school kid, something that is highly accessible. And at the same time, it is so much fun that people are retained for months and years. It becomes a forever gaming franchise from India.
Right. I'm also being told that we have now been joined by Parth Chadda as well, co-founder Stan, which is a fast-growing gaming platform with 4 million gamers onboarded. It recently raised $2.7 million in a pre-Series A round of funding as well. Congratulations on that, although slightly belated path. But tell us what your mind is the most significant factors, or are the most significant factors that are contributing to this fast-paced growth for India's gaming startups, the gaming sector.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. So I've spent close to 6 to 7 years in the gaming industry in India. And what I realized lately is that we're now 500 million gamers. I think the key factors significantly is there have been a lot of communities and creators around gaming which have become very successful now. If you look at how we come to know about games is through our friends, through a YouTuber, through a content creator. I think the creator economy has sort of helped a lot in shaping up the pace for the gaming industry. Obviously, prior to COVID, things were slightly different, and I've looked at the content as well. Like Kriti mentioned, that there's a lot of stuff going around with game design. I think we see a lot of good content coming out of India, and which is more India for that matter. I think mobile gaming is something which shaped up things for us very aggressively. What we're building at Stan is something which is actually helping and kind of catapulting the growth around gaming, which is communities in gaming, right? These creators which were actually either creating content on YouTube or Instagram, they kind of wanted to make money as well. They kind of wanted to promote these games. So we felt that there is a more social angle to gaming, which can actually help games grow. So I believe that influencers, creator economy is something which is taking this thing really ahead of time.
Sounds great. Now, Namrata, MPL is about 6 years old now, slightly over. In fact, it's a gaming behemoth with 60 plus games and over 200 million registered users. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a unicorn as well. Now, how is MPL planning to unlock new opportunities and reach out to a wider audience at this stage?
Yeah, so I think two parts to how we're looking to expand and grow from here. I think one is our core mission is to be the world's largest platform, enabling users from across the world to compete on skill-based games. So we are, of course, present in India. We also have a presence in US, and we're looking to expand that presence as we go forward. Second is just in terms of really innovating on the types of games, the kind of formats that users can engage with these games on. And for example, I think one is bringing in more games from India. So we have games like Snakes and Ladder, we have Ludo, we have a bunch of different variants that we are continuously experimenting and bringing to the table, be it Ludo, be it on cricket. I think a bunch of games that are associated with sports as a category. And I think that is another leg of innovation that we will continue to drive in terms of bringing in those newer games. The third leg is, of course, just leveraging a lot more of technology, right? Bringing in data into decision making. So be it all aspects of making this platform very safe and trustworthy for users, in terms of the kind of checks that are needed, in terms of the kind of matchmaking, prevention of any form of fraud, cheating on platform. So I think we are continuously leveraging newer technologies, ML models, etc., to keep upgrading our security and building that safe and trusted platform for all our users.
Mm-hmm. And are you looking to sort of move towards a profitable path as well?
Yeah, no, despite, I think, the challenges with GST, we have been profitable. So we will continue to drive growth while ensuring profitability remains where we are.
All right. Now, Parth, Stan has recently raised some money. I mentioned it, $2.7 million. How are you putting it to use so you could broaden your paying user database?
Yeah, I mean, so we've just crossed 5.5 million gamers this month. We've grown very fast over the last 1 year. We see that a lot of creators are choosing Stan as their platform to build communities. I think we raised this round to kind of bring in some good talent and also partner up with a lot of creators outside. so that Stan becomes the one-stop solution for gaming in terms of communities, right? So to answer your question, we do plan to invest some of the fund inside marketing. But if you see, our platform Stan is trending on number 4 on the lifestyle category in the Play Store from past 5-6 months. So there's a lot of organic flow of user base, and but we do look at getting it inside the tier 2, tier 3 market as well. I think creator earnings and user growth is something which is what we are focusing on after this phase as well.
Okay. And Kirti, even you've had a marquee investor coming in the form of legendary cricket commentator Harsha Bhogle. I believe the goal is to enhance downloads of the game's app from 5 million to 50 million in the next 2 years. How's that going to happen? What's the plan?
So, talking about Harsha Bhogle, I think his journey has been very inspirational and path-breaking in the sense that he put India on the global map for cricket commentary. And that kind of resonates with the vision that we have, that with Hit Wicket, we want to build a global IP, which is not just for the Indian audience, but it is at par with the likes of FIFA and Supercell in the world for the cricket audience. And we believe that Harsha has a very wide audience. Again, people who are like cricket nerds or people who are just following cricket news. And with Harsha, we feel that, there is a new channel of audience that we can open up, which, may not be searching for cricket games, but are interested in cricket. Now, people have viewed cricket matches. They have engaged in fantasy sports through cricket. But a game where they can actually determine the outcome of the game, that is yet to happen. And for that phase, we feel that, the partnership with Harsha will give us the opportunity to create content that will help us reach all corners of the world and even reach to an audience which may not identify itself as a gamer.
All right. Okay. Namrata, what kind of a role has the central and state governments played along with the courts in the evolution of the gaming ecosystem in the country? Would you say that some challenges emerged along the way, but it has helped make the ecosystem more robust, reliable and resilient?
Definitely. I think for any sunrise sector to sort of grow and flourish, I think it's definitely important to have the support from the governments in terms of the policies and regulations that come in. I think from a central government standpoint, just the introduction of the rules for online gaming, I think it's a great first step. We're of course looking to ensure that could be operationalized very soon. Second, I think even on the taxation front, I think through the last year changes in terms of more clarity on TDS, I think all prospective taxation on GST. Of course, while there is some short-term bump and challenges due to the change in GST structure, I believe in the long term, just the clarity on how taxation will work on both TDS and GST is a great thing for this industry to grow and flourish. Secondly, I think even in terms of skill development, I think both central and state governments have been investing into the AVGC sector, building and working with, of course, private sector to really build the focus on skill development in this ecosystem. I believe both of these together will definitely ensure this industry will get all the required impetus to grow.
Yes, certainly the AVGC task force has had its work cut out as well. Now, Parth, let's specifically talk about GST, because when GST was hiked on gaming from 18 to 28% last year, there was a lot of hue and cry. Now, have all the worst fears of the sector come true, or is the reality quite different from what it was being made out to be at one stage?
I mean, everybody was shocked. I mean, some of the guys who were very close in the real money gaming sector, which is the one which got significantly impacted. I think some of them kind of preempted that this is going to happen, but everybody was kind of hit by it very hard. And like Namrata was telling, that things are shaping back. And I believe the right things are already happening for the industry. Government is kind of recognizing what we're doing in the gaming space, and a couple of limitations and a couple of constraints kind of lays down the right ground structure for everybody to operate on. Obviously, the unit economics kind of have to be redefined, which everybody who is still operating in the real money gaming sector is kind of working on. I feel that things are happening for good, and we should keep focusing on the positives, while we see that government is kind of making things easier and easier for the industry to flourish. I don't think we should be scared about building. I think this is the right time to build in India, invest in India in the gaming market. It's actually at the inflection point right now. I believe that real money gaming was driving almost 50% of the revenues in the gaming market in India. I think that's kind of taken a slight hit because of the GST, but probably it's going to bounce back. And I heard that government is also trying to reconsider the existing ruling, and let's see where it goes.
Right. Yes. Well, that is always something that can be reconsidered if it is found to be hurting the sector and the government's own revenues. And GST Council, of course, decides in a collective manner. So I guess the best decision will be taken going forward. Now, Kirti, how critical is the factor that the perception about gaming itself seems to be changing in the country? Gamers are getting money and fame. Some professionalism is also coming in. Would you say that the days where gaming used to be likened to gambling and a waste of precious time are now relics of the past?
Got it. So when it comes to gaming also, there's another sector called real money gaming. I think that's where the cash in and the cash out component plays. And then there's this pure video games industry where people play for competition and glory. And it's very similar to, I would say, entertainment or sports. Somebody who's playing football or cricket is not necessarily thinking about becoming very rich in life, but it's the love of the sport that gets you to compete. And esports is about mental athleticism. So I think that kind of awareness is coming into the industry. People realize that, if you're very good at a particular game, then it means that, you're good at strategizing, you're thinking fast and you're able to do well.
All right.
And I think the Indian government had that push earlier also in 2020 when they had launched the Atmanirbhar App Innovation Challenge. They had awarded Hitwicket as the #1 game in India, because that time also our Prime Minister's concept was that can we make a game in India that can compete in India as well as outside India and get people to engage with it.
Mm-hmm. And Namrata, taking this forward, what more could be done, on the policy front by different government, state or centre, in order to ensure that gaming is promoted in the way that it should be in a positive light? And for instance, we saw how the central government took an initiative to recognize and reward people who make content creators. Could there be something that could be initiated in the sphere of gaming as well?
Definitely. And I think like you spoke about the AVGC task force, I think there are a lot of initiatives that are going on where all of these stakeholders are coming together, be it government, be it the gaming companies, be it the gamers themselves. So I think gamers, again, represented by different associations, coming together to really say, take these stories of gamers across India, really use that as the way to inspire other people to seriously consider gaming. Because like I think one of the fellow panelists was mentioning, it's one of the biggest forms of entertainment, one of the most active ways to really get a user engaged. So I think just being able to get these stories from across and really leverage them to ensure more and more users get into gaming and really pursuing that passion, and giving people also the right platforms to be able to do this. Getting in more people to actually work on this industry, because there are a lot of very interesting creative roles available within gaming. And I think that is where some of these policy changes would really push in the best quality talent also to consider gaming as a profession.
Okay. And Parth, do you think another contributing factor where India's gaming sector's growth is concerned has been the fact that certain games got banned by the government as well because of security concerns, especially those coming in from China?
I mean, it's always that bad publicity is good publicity, right? And it's not like the games which we are talking about did not have mass traction. I think India loves to play games, and it's all about mobile gaming, right? Data security is always a matter of concern, but I strongly believe that once your game is touching the masses in India, I mean, you're clocking like 50 million daily active users, the job is done. And I think cheap internet, good devices supporting these games, and good content. I think this unique combination works phenomenally well. Along with these advocates and creators we are talking about, to kind of build that community around gamers, because community is what kind of gets you those repeat users. They want to try the next thing on the platform, and so on and so forth, right? So like you said, these bans keep coming and going, but it kind of makes things more exciting for the industry.
And again, Kirti, if I could ask you, in terms of how there are safeguards that are built in as well, do you think that is something, again, which is contributing to a more acceptability of gaming in general, whether it's about, setting time limits, or when it comes to paying money, then limits on that as well?
Yeah, I think when it comes to entertainment or anything in life, everything in moderation, when consumed for entertainment, is what, keeps the balance. And I think a lot of times, certain games are designed in a way that, they require the user to spend long hours, where there are a lot of other games, a lot of good examples, which have shorter session, which do not encourage the user to play for long hours, and they are also in the billion-dollar market range. So I think some of these safeguards have been imposed, but they could be for the greater good of the society. And we should look at gaming as entertainment, something that de-stresses us, and maybe a platform where people get to express themselves or create content around it, or be known by people because they are very good at that game.
Yes, certainly. I mean, it builds acceptability when a particular stream or a sector has a lot more credibility, and there are safeguards built in, because then parents feel good about their children not getting too much involved and spending a lot of time gaming as well. Thanks a lot for joining us and talking about this sector, which is a critical sector, sunrise sector really, as far as our startups are concerned. And I hope that all of you and the entire structure, the sector does better in the coming days as well. Thanks a lot. That's all we have in this edition of India Ideas tonight. For all the latest, keep watching DD India.